So far with the Dark Side of the Moon, we've heard free tracks of theirs in the cover territory, but not original pieces, not yet. But with the Gates of Time, that's going to change, because we're now consulting that piece. That's the newest of their works, and I understand this is an original piece of theirs. And I'm pretty sure it is. I know at least I've seen in passing, they have 3 on this album that are going to be original pieces in conjunction to a bunch of covers, which for the covers, they've more than succeeded. I've been extremely impressed with what I've heard thus far. I've consulted, like I said, all 3 of the previous videos that they've released for Jenny of Oldstones, May It Be, and Double Trouble Lumos, those covers. All 3 are amazing. I'm still getting over the last one. Double Trouble, that was like a crazy adaptation in the rock sphere, but wow, just beautiful. And I knew, again, like I said, going into the Dark Side of the Moon, they'd be a talent that I'm sure I would immediately gravitate to, because I'm familiar to different degrees of every one of these artists. From Feuerschwangs, I've been covering them very recently. My coverage isn't published yet. I'm still making my way through a lot of their music, but I love what I've heard thus far. And so the guitarist and the harp player here, I have not heard much in the way of harp integration in the rock sphere, if any at all, but I love the personality to this group, and that integration alone is just exquisite. I forget his name. One of the percussionist from Amaranth, he's on here. Great work on his behalf. And then Melissa Bonney of Ad Infinitum fame, who I've covered so many times on this channel. I love their work. I'm a big fan of Melissa Bonney's vocal talents. In every respect, this group has impressed a lot. And those particular... It's interesting. This is basically, again, a hodgepodge of talented artists coming together from very different groups, and it just sounds so wonderful. It's a blending of all those strengths. I love this side project with their work. I can't wait to hear, again, like I said, an original piece. Again, from my understanding, The Gates of Time. I think it's kind of following this path. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me on it. I think I'm right, though. Anyway, I'm more of an eager. I've loved this experience. Dark Side of the Moon has been a wonderful talent to feature in accordance to many European talents I've spotlighted on this channel. I've spoken oftentimes in the past about just how much I love that space of the world in the music realm, especially in metal. As a big metalhead myself, I gravitated to this immediately, and symphonic metal especially too, and this definitely has a nice blend and overlap in that field. There's so much exquisite talent in that area of the world that I just can't get enough of it. And many of you have taken that journey with me as I've made music more of a mainstay on this channel. It's been a long aspiration of mine since I started, really, in the foundational years, but over 2023, I'm evolving this quite well, and more than I thought I would be, with so many new names to myself in terms of first introductions. Some familiarized talent, yes, I cover a good range of groups, maybe emerging artists I'm not as familiarized to that maybe come from maybe my own research, or many of your guys' recommendations, and there's been a plethora of them. I'm making my way through, God willing, to every name. We'll see. I keep a big master list, and you guys are supplying like 12 recommendations per video at this point. It's a lot to consider. Anyway, there is some overlap, though. I'm making my way through. I am. Slowly but surely. But I've really enjoyed bringing music on, like I said, in a grander focus, and perhaps introducing many of you to new talents. I mean, I could certainly speak about the European scene all day. There's so many groups out there that I just absolutely love, and I would love to share, and this channel in part has helped with that, because I've come across some of your guys' talents where you've been like, hey, I didn't know about this group, but I'm curious to hear more, right? And if I can provide that, it's an ambition of mine to give you that pathway, if you are somebody who likes to go artist shopping, to make it easier for you. I'd like to provide those pathways to access if I can manage to. And with the Dark Side of the Moon, I think you'll have a great time. If you like Ad Infinitum, Feuerschwangs, Amaranth, I think you'll really like this group. And of course, if you're open to metal, especially in the European scene of such talent as every one of these artists has in spades, I think they're going to become quite a hit with you. Let's take a look at The Gates of Time, with the video as well in accordance. I'm going to pull that up in a second. And it's a pretty long track at over 5 minutes, so we should have enough to enjoy here on a good piece. If you're not familiar with the way I format my coverage and my content may be a first introduction for you, I do try and accommodate listener taste to the best extent that I can. So if you'd like to read along with the message of the piece and through the lyrics, I will provide those in the video feed. So as we go through the song, you can watch the video and perhaps read the lyrics if you want to. If not, you can just watch the video, but the message of a song will be available to you on the video screen, and the lyrics will proceed with the song as we navigate our way through it. Okay, The Gates of Time. More time to spend with Dark Side of the Moon, who I love this group so much. Their sound is so excellent. Their quality, I can't speak enough of their talents. Okay, especially after that Double Trouble one. Whew, that one is good. Anyway, such a strong piece. That string use there, which I'm still getting over Rusanda Panfili's talents. And she was the featured artist there. Incredible work. I have to look at more of her stuff in the future. But let's go back to Dark Side of the Moon as a mainstay presence, right? And hear more of their work here. Beautiful scenery. Europe has such exquisite locations. Nice riff. I love that. Oh, and more headbang sessions. I mean, you had so much of that in Jenny of Old Stones. Love the personality, Melissa. I love the small little strums there. You heard that? So distinct. Beautiful foundation. I love that heart presence. You hear it. Just... Ah, yes, the twirl. But just keep getting that hair going. Such a good video. If I had hair, I'd be joining in. All these years, I still bleed somehow in the ocean of my cries. The oxygen I find. And one day somehow it starts to fade out. Even though I believe I still call your name. I love the symphonic vibe. Again, it's so good with a song. Beautiful. Nice shift, okay. It's just so European. I love it. They become one of my favorite groups, like on immediate listen. No different here. Great breaks, too, as always, in Melissa Bonney's music. But really anything she's tied to, like Ad Infinitum, this is the case. And here, just the same. Okay, key change. Great stepping pattern on that. Oh, that closure. Well, I guess second to last closure. I can't speak enough of the capabilities of this group. Wow. I love Dark Side of the Moon. Man. You know, I've said many times, I love bringing music onto this channel as a mainstay. Again, being such a dominant first love in my life. And it's groups like this, I've said so many times, Europe has such a wealth of talent that deserves higher name recognition. I say this again in large respect to the people that I know, people in my personal circle. I get blank stares all the time from names I reference because no one knows half these groups. Ad infinitum, Feuerschwangs, Amaranth, there will be like 99% of the people in my life, probably about 100 maybe. Yeah, I'll be fair, maybe to 1%, which I do keep a small social circle to be fair for reasons, you know, in my life, but still, I'm like, none of you know any of these groups? I mean, come on. Oh, I forgot, you guys all, no mean shade, but I'm like, you guys need to resort out of the American mainstream. Right? And hey, there's a couple exceptions I like, but I'm not like a big Hollywood music type guy, especially like in the pop scene. I can't stand pop music for the most part. Unless it's like with a metal rock integration, there is some exception, but generally I'm like mainstream Hollywood pop, I can't stand it. The stuff like that's common, you know, in store radio witness plays or is like your top selling tier. I tend to resort to the more alternative. I do. But oftentimes expresses more of a limited audience and maybe is seen as a little more niche by some crowds. But I find a higher degree of talent in that market. Though, again, like I said, I do have some mainstream exceptions, to be fair, especially in the American scene. Generally, just, I found more talent, at least for me, that's longer lasting in its sustenance and its effect in the smaller name presences. And Europe, it's just universal for me. Every talent I have consulted on this channel from that realm of the world and the metal scene has just more than captivated my attention. Dark Side of the Moon, no exception at all. That piece is so engaging on every note. I mean, just even in the visualizer of the scenic backgrounds, I mean, it's so, like, it makes me want to go to Europe. I want to be there. I want to venture for these locations. Where they film this, it's such a beautiful building. And the atmosphere to it, like, it's like some expansive mansion. It's just gorgeous to look at. But the video, fun, engaging performance piece. I mean, you can tell every artist here is so passionate. I mean, the harp player, I love. And I think she's got credit on Feuerschwangs. Again, I'm still kind of early in my venturing into them. I think she's got credit as one of their dancers, and she goes by a different name. I don't know if she utilizes the harp there. But I have not spent much time with harp players, let alone see many harp players go into headbang sessions. And I'm like, and even with Melissa Bonney, I'm like, I said this of Jenny Volstones, like, that moment for me, with both ladies like swirling around, it was like, what is going on? Like, I love this. And seeing it again, it's just, it's fun, right? It just makes for an engagement, though it might hurt your neck, and both these women might need a chiropractor someday. I don't know. You know, I'm sure their necks are sore after filming this, but it just makes it extra fun, you know. And for someone like me who's a devout metalhead, I'm like, yes, get me in the mood. And this piece, just everything. I mean, again, like the visualizer was so much fun. I love the ending too, like the band and focus they're playing just the entirety. Again, it's just it's a fabulous showcase. It expresses every individualized talent from every one of these artists. Like I said, it's a great hodgepodge of noteworthy names coming together and all expressing a level of competence that put together, it just makes for such an amazing work of art. Every respect to this track just that I can throw at it. The power riffs, the harp noise, and you can hear the harp. It's pretty dominant, at least in certain sections. Just those riffs too are just amazing with the integration, the pacing of the song with the vocal work on Melissa's part. Again, the mixture of vocal capabilities with the growl and the higher pitch octaves. It just impresses me so much. Her voice goes so many different places. It really is just it's such an expansive coverage. Oh man, I love it. Even the percussion work, like I said, Amaranth, I've heard a couple of their songs and they're pretty good from what I've consulted in the past. But I'm just, again, music. It's just such a fun experience. Oh man, I love that piece. It's just so touching, man. I mean, I don't know. Again, it's the alternative for me. I don't mind in any way being in the niche space. It means I find the talents that are just the highly capable ones and deserve the recognition. I mean, again, as I said, going into this, I intentionally cover a good range of names. In part, I made a consideration too, from emerging talents to more established names, and I'm just loving this one. I mean, again, I don't know, because I qualify them as Dark Side of the Moon as an emerging talent, because I don't know. I think they're still relatively fresh on the scene. I mean, the album, I believe, in full comes out on May. Does it even acknowledge release date? Not that I'm seeing it, at least on the page I'm looking at. I think it's sometime in May of this year. And I'll definitely keep an open door on some of these tracks if there's more, you know, released in advance. Or maybe even some of the tracks when they debut I might take a look at. But I'm just so impressed with it. From what I've heard, they're going to be an ever top listen for me. Easy repeat. I mean, the first free tracks were the first free covers that I spotlighted here. But I'm pretty sure, again, like I said, this is one of their original pieces. It's just amazing to me. Again, the pacing on that, with the metal emphasis and the background and the integration of every element working together in just synchronized harmony for me. It's an intoxicating blend. This is what I just love about music. It's so mesmerizing. It's the reason I pushed into it more than I have other entertainment ventures. Even though, again, like I said, every entertainment style and expression is very singular in its language and its influence. Music, for me, very much is that first love because it is so unique in how it touches you. If it's not necessarily even just in message, it might be. And lyrical writing to be acknowledged as well. It's quite beautiful here, too. What Chi-Chi say in the chorus? There was one line, too, that stuck out to me there. I'll keep your memory alive, but I still wait for your lost soul to come back to me. It's so beautiful, right? It's touching. It's just a strong piece in every respect. I love Dark Side of the Moon. What a wonderful experience with them. I can't wait to hear more of their original work if it goes down that path. Maybe they'll play around in genre, but with that emphasis, I'm like, give me more. Oh, man, I loved it. I figured I would. Every talent here boasts strength, and they've more than delivered on this excursion. Let me know your thoughts down below for those of you who this is going to be. Again, every angle I'm open to, and I would appreciate, you know, I'm sure many of you are going to approach this being like, oh, you know, I've heard this song, I love it too, right? Established fans of theirs. And maybe some of you are going to be approaching this for the first time. What were your thoughts on Dark Side of the Moon? I'd love to hear it down below if you wish to disclose your perspective through maybe some of the other pieces if you want to mention them and highlight them there. Again, I've covered all three of the previous releases that got music videos at least, and I'll keep an open door again, like I said, for the future. But in consideration of this one, I would love to hear your thoughts down below. I'm in love with it. Easy repeat listen for me. Again, like I said, I'm immediately engaged. I can't wait to hear it again, probably right after I film this, in fact. It's just it's such an exquisite song. Such a great emphasis on that piece. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.